Why did the Roanoke colony really disappear? What happened to the Mayans? What happened to the dinosaurs? What if I told you that all of these events were actually linked by one entity, an entity of incomprehensible power, an entity that is basically what you get when you cross the Thing with Pennywise's Eldritch form and the Venom symbiote together to create one of the strongest beings I've ever spoken about on this damn channel. You get hell on earth. That's what you get in the movie Phantoms. One of the best 1990s, especially late 1990s movies you'll ever see. With a cast that's more stacked than you'll ever know. Ben Affleck! A young Bruce Wayne, one of Ben Affleck's best roles, in my opinion. And you get tons of eye candy for degenerates like me, alright? The actresses in this are fucking hot. Look, just take a look. Just take a look at them. And I don't mean to simp out at all, but Joanna Going, my body gets convulsions when I watch her, okay? Especially in this, I can't take my damn eyes off this woman. Something happens to me. I am no longer in control of bodily functions, and it's probably because she reminds me a little bit of Kate Beckinsale Celine. She has that vibe to her. But goddamn, is she fine? And I'm really glad these two didn't become a thing in the movie, because that'd have been really cliche, and Ben Affleck's already freaking banged another crush of mine in Ana de Armas. So, fuck off! But, anyways, back to the film. Two sisters who basically go on a little trip to the older sister's hometown, only to discover something's gone terribly wrong. Bodies are everywhere, limbs are chopped off, heads are falling into ovens. Bodies are found drained of blood. Is there a virus spreading everywhere? Why is the entire town seemingly vacant? There's nobody here. The only people that are here are police officers and a sheriff that they stumble across, led by Ben Affleck and Liev Schreiber. Liev Schreiber plays one of his most schizophrenic roles in this movie. GOAT! Now, why is this movie called Phantoms? I didn't know what the hell was going on when I was watching this, alright? Because the word phantoms implies, okay, is there like a spirit or a ghost or a demon of some sort haunting people in this town? What is happening here? We do see one demonic-looking moth that starts attacking people in this film. I'm like, okay, is this town flooded with moths that are taking people over? Parasitic beings? No. This is different. I couldn't even comprehend what the fuck was actually happening. This wasn't a demon, not a ghost, not a bunch of random parasitic animals. No. This is something far worse. And we get our first clue when we see this written in the mirror. Timothy Flight, the ancient enemy. Basically a message for any survivors to call upon this man, Timothy Flight, a scientist and journalist who speaks about this being called the ancient enemy that's existed for millions of years and is responsible for the disappearances of entire civilizations. What is this being? A primordial, shape-shifting creature that shows people their worst nightmares, their worst sins, creatures that can create beings from a flesh, from imagination and memory of all of its victims, assimilating everyone it touches and possesses, and is virtually unstoppable. Or is it? And when we do see the final true form that comes out, it is something beyond it is something beyond what you expect, and I fucking love it. What is the ancient enemy truly? The ancient enemy is a massive, ancient, amorphous organism, essentially a protoplasmic entity that existed beneath the Earth's surface for millions of years, predating humanity. It dwells underground, specifically in deep oil reserves and caverns. No, it's not a demon from another dimension or the afterlife. It's not an alien from space. No, it's from here. It existed here before us. It was the first god of this planet. Let's look at the abilities. There's a fucking lot of them. Shape-shifting and biomimicry. It can consume organisms, imitate their appearance and behaviors, including memories and personalities to a disturbing degree. It has telepathic manipulation. It can psychically communicate, manipulate perceptions, and cause hallucinations or nightmares, making victims feel insane or disoriented. Parasitic offshoots. It creates smaller creatures or mimics, called phages or drones, that it sends out like scouts to gather information and attack. And a lot of these parasitic offshoots can be created from the memories and imaginations of the victims it takes. That's right. So if a human victim of this creature dreamt or feared Godzilla, this being can take that fear and shape it from pure flesh, hydrocarbons and all that into a being that's Godzilla. It can create that as a drone of it. Yes! Maybe not as powerful as the real Godzilla, but it can get pretty damn close. The ancient enemy could have formed before DNA, from self-replicating hydrocarbons deep in the Earth's crust. It predates all multicellular life, perhaps even shaping early evolution to create hosts. It might have led to our birth. Now, does it have any weaknesses? Yes, it does. It's self. A god complex, an arrogance, a hubris that can be manipulated against it. And that's what happens when our main characters find out that, okay, there's a microbe that's used by scientists to feed on all oil, to devour oil. Maybe we can use this to destroy this creature's mother mass, its center, and devour all of it. But we need to get its mother mass from underground to the surface. And why would a creature, an apex predator like this, do that? Well, we need to call it out. We need to have Timothy Flight use its hubris against it. Tell him, lure him in by using its god complex. Say, oh, I want to reveal to the world what you are. That's why you brought me here. But I need to see you truly. Gods aren't afraid to show themselves to us specks of dust humans. Unless you're not a god at all. Maybe you're not what you say you are. And that lures the creature out to show its true form. I don't know if you can see this because there's literally no HD picture or still of this creature exists on Google, but this being comes out to be something incomprehensible. And they start shooting it with a microbe. And she's so hot. They start shooting it in with the microbes and they think they've won because it starts devouring a lot of the mother mass and they think they've destroyed this thing completely. Until the end scene, where you realize, no, if you let just one drone of this thing escape, it doesn't matter if there's a mother mass or not, it'll still replicate and create itself again. It's very much like the Thing alien, except it can do way more shit. So, how powerful is it? This seems to be a very powerful being, okay? This guy can do everything. Can it beat the most OP creatures I've talked about? Okay, let's go through the supernatural route. Let's talk about some of the most OP demons we've seen. Bagul, Cenobites, Pazazu, the Smile Demon. Let's see. Okay, if the Smile Demon tries to infect a host already controlled by the ancient enemy, it might become assimilated into the vast memory network. Worse, the enemy could learn its methods and become a trauma-based spreader itself. The Smile Demon, remember, is terrifying for individuals, but the ancient enemy is a world-level threat that can incorporate, replicate, and dismantle it psychologically and physically. Bagul's power lies in psychological manipulation. And he has his own pocket dimension, of course, but he doesn't have as much physical dominance. The ancient enemy is both of those things. Hellraiser Cenobites, they're in a physical fight, they're not winning because this being can do a lot. The only way they win is if they trap the ancient enemy in their realm, which is possible depending on the canon rules, so they could probably defeat it. Let's talk about aliens, the Thing. Very similar in power. It can assimilate you on touch, right? The Thing is very OP. It's one of the most OP aliens of all time. But this guy can assimilate people too. Maybe not as fast, but it can assimilate, it can send drones, and it has way more weapons in its arsenal. It's also way fucking smarter than the Thing alien. It has a hive of memories that it uses as weapons. And remember, the Thing, if you use fire, you can use fire to defeat its drones, right? As long as you get all of them, you can beat it. What if this guy takes a memory or a nightmare of a victim of his that was a dragon, a fire-breathing dragon, and creates it? It can create that from flesh and use a complex array of chemicals to create the fire part. And it can fly up in the air while the Thing is down defenseless, burn it all to a crisp. That's what I mean by varied attacks. Look at Calvin. I made a whole video about how Calvin might be the strongest alien in sci-fi horror. A lot of people disagreed. Well, congratulations. This guy's getting fucked up because guess what the ancient enemy can do? Oh, cool. If they're on a spaceship, the ancient enemy can find the memories by possessing one of Calvin's former victims or one of the people Calvin hasn't got to yet. Look at its fear of Calvin and create Calvin from flesh. And not only one Calvin, multiple of them, and have them descend on Calvin. Have them flank him. Calvin's fucked. And then it'll assimilate him very easily. It's over. Calvin can't do shit. The Arrival aliens are the only ones who maybe, because it can transcend time, but this is not a fight. These two will not have a physical brawl. If it comes to a physical brawl, the ancient enemy will devour the physical body of the Arrival aliens, and the Arrival aliens' consciousness will transcend. So nobody wins in that case. The only thing that if you need like a Superman or Sentry level being to forcefully destroy all the ancient enemy at once, and you better hope that the ancient enemy's tentacles don't go inside the mouths of one of these beings and infiltrates their memory banks, because then you're fucked. Imagine assimilating Superman. I don't know if it can, but imagine. But they're what if I told you that you don't really need to go that far to beat it? Maybe there is something that can beat it. Maybe there are a couple entities that can go the distance. The Blob would be a very, very bad matchup under the right conditions. Under certain conditions where the ancient enemy doesn't have a lot of places to go, it's closed off. If this thing can devour the mother mass of the ancient enemy very fast, chances are the ancient enemy is screwed. But the Blob has to get close enough, and we have to rely on the fact that the ancient enemy might not adapt fast enough. But we just saw it survive a bunch of devouring microbes and still get one of its drones out. If the ancient enemy recognizes the Blob's feeding pattern, it can lure it into a trap with its drones, and then it might be able to outmaneuver it. Likely that's what the ancient enemy could do and will do. And imagine the ancient enemy creates a fucking blob in response. The xenophages, or whatever you call them, xenophages from Venom 3. These are very OP aliens. I forgot to mention them in my last video, along with another alien that I'm going to bring up. They have shape-shifting. They can use neurotoxins to destroy symbiotes. They can devour entire symbiotes en masse, and they have teleportation abilities. If you have a lot, one of them is not going to do the trick. You need an army of these things to fight off the ancient enemy. Then maybe they can disrupt the thing's mother mass with neurotoxin and affect the way its mind operates. Maybe that's something that could happen. I don't know. But the problem is, assimilation is still a problem for these beings. I don't know if these beings are immune to assimilation. If this ancient enemy attacks them and touches them in the right way, you don't want an assimilated xenophage on the ancient enemy's side. Then that's the end of the world. Then you also have the aliens from the Darkest Hour, okay? I didn't mention this in my Calvin video. I should have, because they would have destroyed Calvin. Why? Because they can incinerate you upon touch. They come down looking like this, and they're invisible unless under the right conditions with the right electricity. And the only way you can see them is if you blast them with enough energy-based attacks that can show their true form. But if they get near you and touch you, you're fucking dead. You're incinerated. So they can incinerate a large portion of the ancient enemy's mother mass. The thing is, they have a very clear weakness. If you can keep a distance and break through their energy shell, you can kill the true form of the creature. All the ancient enemy needs to do is wait and let his drones do the experimentation for it. And once it sees the shell and the true form of the creature, it can create drones that can shoot energy-based attacks at this creature and destroy it. That's the only way. So it could still easily beat all these other beings that I'm talking about. That's the fucking issue. This creature is OP as fuck. That's that, y'all. That is Phantoms, 1998. I love this film. Great cast, sexy-ass actresses. Ben Affleck in one of my favorite roles of his. Watch this movie. If you want to know who would win between The Thing and Calvin in a fight, watch this video over here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a mission to take over Hollywood. But the army must keep growing. If you want to suggest video topics to me, or talk about your favorite movies or favorite film theories in a community with like-minded individuals, join the Zafy Discord now. Link is in the description and the comment section as well. Join us. This movement is just beginning. We're taking over Hollywood, one coke line at a time.